Just to go back for a moment, was it those years at Harvard where you learned how to work, 84 hours at a stretch, and
Yes.
something that's troubled us till date? Because
I know. I'm trying to get out of those bad habits. But being in a university, the clock doesn't work. And my lab was there all night for me to work. And during the daytime, I could go to lectures and talk to people and so on. So, yes, what I tried to do when we set up DA was to give my young co-workers an opportunity to do the things that I had an opportunity to do, which was make good use of time. There was always some cafeteria open at night and you could go and eat, but every minute counted. So to some extent that has infected DA, and hopefully for the good. But basically being a graduate student meant making full use of every resource you had, including time. Basically after that, I ran this Office of Environment, which was for 5 years the most powerful job I can ever imagine. Everybody thought that I was reporting to the Prime Minister, so anything I said was seen as word from the top. And I went around stopping factories, doing all kinds of outrageous stuff, which very quickly led me to an understanding of what environment meant for India. Everybody used to laugh at me and said, "What are you doing in India? This is a poor country. What are you talking about pollution and why?" It was a laughing matter actually for a long time that I was working on these issues. But in a way, that experience in India, those 5 years, led to the whole concept of sustainability, because later on I was in a position to put that into the global jargon. And sustainability was a way of seeing the environmental issues as being tractable for a poor country. You don't say no, you say yes, but. You have to find ways in which you can get your cake and eat it. You need fertilizer, and you're not going to be able to put it in New Bombay, which is what we were asked to approve, but you put it somewhere where it's going to damage fewer people and use different kinds of technology and is a better designed project. And so, in those days I had to deal with projects like the Matara refinery, like Chilka Lake, like Kashmir's environmental issues and so on. And these were very high visibility issues. And I got very deeply involved with the global environmental movements, since I was the government delegate to all the conferences, including the big Stockholm conference, which started the whole process. This meant that I got invited to join the UN to help set up the headquarters in Nairobi of the UN program.
Infotera.
Infotera was the information program in the environment program, UNEP. And basically that was the starting point of a global presence, because I was all over the place. I went to 110 countries trying to get governments to set up agencies, but that also meant that I could get involved with the Club of Rome, with IUCN, with the International Resource Panel, etc. So when I was back in Delhi, at the end of it all, after the UN, I set up Development Alternatives. I was still one leg in the international system. And that leg was only possible because I had huge colleagues, a set of colleagues who could provide me with support and continue the work of the organization and provide me with the intellectual support to be able to influence the global scene. So gradually this thing, continued. I became president of the IUCN, and that's a very big organization. Scientific Organization for Conservation. Then I was also involved with the Club of Rome, which really, in a sense, started the whole environmental movement with this book called Limits to Growth. And I became president of that and varieties of other things. Later on, I set up and chaired the International Resource Panel, which does what IPCC does for climate, it does for resources. And I headed that for 10 years. So that was a very active time during which I was in airplanes most of the time, but it brought in lots of ideas and information and support for the work of DA.